Stay tuned until the end of this video for a special announcement. Generation 6 of My Little Pony doesn't matter. Yeah, I said it, you heard it from me. The fact that a new animated series is coming in 2027 should not take away your love for G5. You should not have to move on, nor should anyone be forcing you to. I feel like that sentiment should be common knowledge, but just in case, I decided to make this video to really touch on what I think many of us have been feeling. So, days after the Making Mark Season 2 leak happened, by the way, thank you all so much for over 4,000 views on that video, it was revealed by Hasbro that a new animated series for My Little Pony is set to come out in 2027. The show will be called My Little Pony Forever Friendship, and it will act as the new generation of this franchise. We even got a whole theme song leaked. Special thanks goes to my friend The Other Real Way for uploading it. And it's fine? Okay, they changed the MLP theme jingle for some reason. The beginning part sounds like a dollar store royalty-free version of that theme, but everything else about the song is actually pretty good. There are allegations of AI use though, specifically Suno music. So be careful when supporting this song until we get it confirmed officially. Now, ever since that news dropped, I feel like so many of us have been feeling a mixture of emotions. On one hoof, it is so great to finally get it confirmed once and for all that My Little Pony will be back on the air in the form of a new animated series. Once again, the floodgates for theories and speculation videos have been opened, and there is certainly a lot of anticipation, but also a ton of deserved controversy, as let's be honest here, nobody asked for a G4 reboot! I mean, I think we all knew they were going to do it, because Hasbro under Chris Cox is a lazy, unambitious, and soulless shell of its former self, but still, duh. To anyone who was hyping up G6 as the greatest thing ever, saying it would be so much better than G5, just you wait! Hope you're happy, because I'm not! Goodbye original generations, and hello G4 forever! Till they're 90! Woo! Anyway, G6 is not the subject of this video. But on the other hoof, on the other side of the coin, there's also a feeling of betrayal, if you understand what I mean. I'm well aware that many fans in the community were expecting Hasbro to pull a Hail Mary or something, save G5 from cancellation, and renew Tired Tail for those additional episodes. But that is not what happened. And if I can be blunt, I knew this wasn't going to happen either. Hasbro as a company has historically never revisited a generation of My Little Pony. They never have, and I doubt they ever will. If they did, it would be unprecedented. I think straight from the jump when the cancellation happened, we knew that Hasbro would be moving on. And it's confirmed that they have. So where does that leave us in the G5 community? How can we ever hope to survive without Hasbro content? Well, I think I have the answer. And it's something I've been saying in many videos. We don't need Hasbro to survive. I think the Wilderness Years, to put it in Doctor Who terms, was the real litmus test. Not just for G5 fans, but G4 fans too. And I think we did okay. Granted, things on the G5 side haven't been perfect. Luna knows I've been through the ringer and back. Nearly cancelled to the point where I thought I'd be quitting forever. And, well, I almost did, but obviously it didn't pan out that way. But also I feel like the Wilderness Years have given us a kind of shared sense of community. An understanding about our place, not only in this fandom, but in the modern media landscape. We've had to grow and understand as a community that Hasbro doesn't really care about us. We're numbers for them. They can say they care about us, they can say they're pandering to us all they want, but, you know, actions speak louder than words. And the truth is, they don't care. We're a demographic. And that's how all companies work, not just Hasbro. I think the Wilderness Years have given us an understanding on how to cope with being abandoned. Because that's what we are. We are an abandoned community. Hasbro raised our community from the ground up through their content. And once they had no more use for us, they hung us out to dry. And I agree wholeheartedly, that's not fair. We defended their shows passionately, day after day, night after night, against the rabid, mindless hate mob. I made so many videos thinking that I was actively making a difference in what Hasbro thought, that they were seeing my content and being encouraged to continue G5. It was definitely a silly mentality to have, but also that's what maturity's for. So, where does an abandoned community like ours fit into the future of MLP? Well, I think if we have any hopes of surviving into the future, if we have any hope of building ourselves back up stronger and better than ever, I think we need to abandon the idea of Hasbro saving G5. Now, I know those of you who are watching are probably really shocked at that how could I ever come to that conclusion? But if I'm being honest, I came to that conclusion a long time ago. And it's gotten to the point where I feel like I have to make this video to get my thoughts out there. This 2027 series announcement post by Hasbro is proof that they're not going back to G5. This should be the final wake-up call that we aren't going to be saved by them. But just because Hasbro isn't coming back to save G5 doesn't mean that we have to move on now. It doesn't mean that all our love for G5 was for nothing, and that discussion should be over, analysis should be over. No, of course not. It doesn't mean that we need to stop making G5 content. Just look at the retrospective community G4 has right now. I am begging you, take a look at what they're doing. There's an infinite well of communities, analysis content, creative content, heck, even full-on fan projects. My Little Pony Chronicles is a good example, and there's still audio dramas being made to this day. And G5 has no shortage of fan-driven efforts. Just look at Path to Skyros or PTS. I know they're under a lot of controversy right now, and many people don't like them. Certain questionable art immediately comes to mind, not being clear enough about what's fully canon and what isn't, editing or rewriting leaked scripts. I'm not gonna judge anyone, whether you're a fan of them or not. Ultimately, support is up to your discretion and your discretion alone. But the reason why I still bring them up here is because they are an example of making something new out of the cancellation. They're taking these unreleased episodes that were never given a chance by Hasbro and giving them new life. It is because of that project that we get to see more of the story that Hasbro unceremoniously abandoned. And whether or not you personally support them, again, no judgment either way, that is a fact. And I personally feel that there should be far more fan-driven efforts like it. I know it takes a while for these leaked scripts to come out, but once they do, they are open source. You as an individual artist can do so much with them. You don't have to be reliant on one singular entity to give you your content. Not Hasbro, not PTS. If you're not satisfied, you can make it yourself. That's part of the joys of being in a fandom. Are you not satisfied with how the story went? Well, no problem. Make an AU. Take a look at Rob and Jack's G5 animatics. They are so good. They give people who aren't satisfied with the current direction a chance to enjoy G5 in their own special way. Or look at Makairo's animations. The Winner Takes It All is a really good animation. It tells the story of Opaline's fall from grace in a way that is just totally awesome. Is that a tribute to Lullaby of a Princess I see? Or that ending animatic he made, using a song from Epic the Musical. Apparently now we know a variation of this was Make Your Mark canon, so make of that what you will. Heck, Family Cortez's G5 Hunger Games video this year also counts in my opinion, as it has enough creative flourishes to count as its own story. I also want to shout out two of Claw Misdragon's comics, Pip the Poltergeist, and My G5 Ending, The Greatest Gift Epilogue. I actually made a full-on comic dub for the latter, go check it out. Now, you might be saying, oh, I can't do animation, and I'm not an artist, so what can I do? Well, I got an answer for that too. Make your own fanfictions. Back during Make Your Mark's lifespan, I made a little something called the Misty Saga. It's a dark and gritty Snyderverse-esque AU that imagines an alternate path from Make Your Mark's story. Misty was the main character, and the stories resonated with a lot of people. Flame Warrior Zip Saga is also a really good series. Or how about Ponydog 127's G5 Adventure series? Forgotten and its many, many sequels. There is just so much you can choose from. You can easily do the same. Make your own fanfictions out of the Make Your Mark Season 2 plans. They're right here. Or if you insist on a visual product, well, I don't blame you. Pony toys are also an option. Allow me to direct you to my Idol Producer series on my second channel, which is still ongoing by the way. Episodes 28 and 29 are just taking a little longer in the oven to cook, for reasons that will become apparent later in the video. Y'all can have some titles in the meantime though, it will be a two-parter. I feel like I at least owe you guys that. All of this was a really long way of saying, you can make so much out of this generation, you don't need Hasbro to do it for you. No matter how big or small scale the effort, anything helps. Even analysis content, which is what I do. Yes, we should still check out G6. Yes, we should still discuss G6 and analyze it. It's a new generation, and it'll be the first one that I'll be able to cover with the channel day one. And that is terrifying. I know I was very harsh on it earlier, and I have every right to be. But still, at the same time, actual people made this. Talented hands made this, passionate artists made this, and hey, in the event that it somehow ends up good, who might have missed that? I once thought negatively of G5's entire premise and reason for existing. And well, look where I'm at now. But you know what? G6 content should not and will not come at the expense of G5 content. I refuse to move on, and y'all can hold me to that promise. I am still going to be covering G5 long into G6's run. As long as these videos continue to get an audience, as long as you guys continue to show up each and every time, I am not stopping the G5 train. We've only just begun. We still have the leaked episodes, and I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. If the mainline G4 community can still make G4 content long after FIM ended, then who's to say that we can't do the same with Make Your Mark and Tire Tale? I mean, they deserve it far more, considering they were literally cut short compared to FIM. I want to use my platform and the audience that I was somehow able to get through my videos to platform and encourage new G5 fan content. Use my second chance on YouTube to create the real, meaningful change that I've always thought a fantasy when I was younger. While I definitely will be covering Forever Friendship, Hasbro, bring it on. I also want to be the person who stands with independent MLP creators and inspires them to make their own mark on the fandom. G5 is king, it will not be ignored. And you don't have to move on if you don't want to. My channel will be a safe haven for anyone who wants to see G5 content continue to be made, as if the show was still going. And, as I said before in the previous PSA video, I feel like I'm not going to be the only one with that mentality this time. Bottom line, abandon Hasbro saving G5. They don't deserve your hopes, your prayers, because they will do nothing. Save it yourself. Be the change that you want to see. The future of G5 is not Hasbro. It is the community. Stand your ground and hold G5 in your heart. Don't let anyone tell you you can't enjoy it still, because you absolutely can. G5 still matters, because we as a community have a responsibility to carry the legacy forward. If you want to stick with G5, then by all means, stick with G5. Support what will probably be the last fully original and ambitious generation in this franchise's history. Don't let Hasbro moving on be the reason why you can't enjoy it anymore. In fact, I want to do far more than just talk about fans continuing G5's legacy as a simple idea. I've already done a lot of talking since the day I came back to the channel. Nope. Instead, I want to bring your attention to a real, tangible example that is happening right now as we speak. Because if you thought this new 2027 series was the only LP generation with an announcement, you'd be wrong. To any of you dedicated viewers of the channel, where this is going might seem a little familiar, but I promise, it is entirely real. Since early February of this year, I have had the honor of working with passionate and talented artists who I am proud to call my friends. For months, we have been working on a special gift to the fandom. Before I reveal what it is, take a look at the Taruto League scripts that have been released so far. Almost all of them have gotten adaptations in some form or another. The Battle for Maritime Bay, illustrated script. Hide and Seek, rewritten and illustrated. Reunited, it's getting a continuous comic. All scripts adapted. Except for one. There is one episode that never got picked up at all by fans. One script that was just dumped on YouTube without much fanfare. One story that never got adapted into any visual medium, even though it completely deserved it. For those of you who may be sad that the greatest gift was the final animatic, fear not. There's a new one in town. And we made it ourselves. No insider backing, no humongous team, just a group of friends inspired to make something real out of a very special episode. And let it be known that you can do something like this too. Say hello to our fan-made animatic of My Little Pony Tired Tale, Season 2, Episode 37, Pumpkin a Night.